In a quiet countryside village, nestled among mountains that looked like sleeping giants,
there lived a young girl named Lena. You would know her by her bright smile and her endless stream of questions.
Every morning, she'd walk the dusty road to school, her faded backpack bouncing with each eager step. She always wanted to be there before the first bell rang, because for Lena, school was a world of wonder.
but the road to education wasn't a simple one.
Her parents toiled in the rice fields, and during the busy planting season, they often needed her help just to get by.
Money was always tight, and some of the villagers would shake their heads, wondering why a young girl needed so much schooling. "What's one missed day of class?" They'd say,
"It won't hurt." But Lena knew better.
She held on to something her grandmother once told her. Words she treasured like a secret gem. Knowledge is a bridge.
If you build it strong enough, it can carry you anywhere.
Those words were her compass,
guiding her through every doubt and every challenge.
One afternoon, Lena's teacher, Mr. Sock, noticed she looked more tired than usual.
Her eyes were red, and her uniform, though clean, had little patches where the fabric had worn thin.
After class, he called her aside and asked gently, "Lena, is everything all right?"
She hesitated for a moment, her gaze dropping to the floor.
Then, in a small voice, she said, "I want to learn, teacher."
"But sometimes I feel like life doesn't want me to."
Mr. Sock felt a familiar pang in his heart.
He knew many children in the village faced similar struggles.
But there was something different about Lena's determination.
It shone brighter, like a stubborn spark, just waiting for the right moment to become a flame.
That very afternoon, he decided to visit her home. Lena's parents welcomed him warmly, but their faces were etched with apology.
"We want her to study. We really do," her father explained, his hands gesturing towards the fields outside.
"But we also need her help."
"Life is hard here." Mr. Sock nodded with deep understanding. "I know," he said softly.
"But your daughter has a gift. If we support her now, she can help so many more people in the future." They talked for a long time, their voices mingling with the evening air.
Mr. Sock spoke of potential, of futures built on learning, and of the incredible strength he saw in their daughter.
By the time he left, her parents had made a decision. Lena could continue her studies without missing a single day of school.
With her parents' blessing, Lena poured her heart and soul into her studies. But her days weren't any easier.
She still had chores to finish in the evenings, which meant her only time to study was late at night.
Their small house had no electricity, so she would read by the flickering, dim light of a kerosene lamp.
On nights when the oil was low and the flame was too weak,
she would take her books outside and study by the soft glow of the moon. She would complete her homework slowly but with immense care, whispering formulas and new vocabulary words to herself as the night insects sang their chorus outside her window. One night, her father walked past her room and paused. He saw her small figure bent over a book, her lips moving silently with concentration. He thought about how tired she must be, pushing herself day after day.
He thought about the bridge her grandmother had spoken of, and he thought about the future.
The very next day, he took some old, unused tools to the market and sold them.
When he returned home, he was carrying a small box.
He handed it to Lena. Inside was a small solar-powered lamp.
Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at it. Then, at him, he placed a hand on her head and said, "You deserve light."
"Not just for studying, but for your life. Years flew by,
filled with late nights and early mornings, with challenges met and overcome."
Now, Lena stood on the precipice of her final national exams. These exams were everything.
They would determine her future, whether she could get into a good upper school, whether scholarships would become a possibility. The night before the first test, she felt a wave of anxiety wash over her. What if I fail?
she whispered to her mother, her voice trembling. Her mother took her hand, its warmth a comforting anchor.
Failing isn't falling, my dear, she said.
Failing is refusing to stand up again. Her father, who had been listening from the doorway.
At it. Walk into that exam room like you're walking across your bridge.
One strong plank at a time. And so, the next morning, Lena walked in with courage.
She sat down, took a deep breath, and began to write with a steady hand. Her mind was clear. She didn't rush.
She trusted her knowledge, she trusted her effort, and she trusted the long, hard journey that had brought her to this very moment. Weeks later, the results were posted on the village notice board.
A crowd had gathered, buzzing with anticipation.
As people shuffled to get a better look, a cheer erupted. Then another.
There, at the very top of the list, printed in bold letters, was her name.
Lena, ranked number 1 in the entire district. Children cheered her name. Parents gasped in amazement.
From the edge of the crowd, Mr. Sock watched, wiping tears of pride from his eyes.
Her father came and placed a heavy, proud hand on her shoulder.
"Today," he said, his voice thick with emotion.
You crossed the bridge! Years later, after winning a full scholarship and studying education at the university, Lena returned to her village. But she didn't return as a student. She returned as a teacher.
She worked tirelessly to build a small learning center for the community, a place with books, electricity,
and safe, quiet tables where children could study after school, free from the worries she once knew.
She spoke with families, helping them understand the incredible power of education, just as her teacher had once done for her.
And above the entrance to the new learning center, she hung a beautifully carved wooden sign for everyone to see. It read, "Knowledge is a bridge. Build it strong.
Cross it bravely." Lena's story reminds us that education is the bridge that can turn our wildest dreams into reality.
It shows us that with unwavering efforts, the support of those who believe in us, and the courage to keep going, anyone can cross that bridge no matter how difficult the path may seem. Thank you so much for watching.
If this story moved you, please consider sharing it with someone who might need a little inspiration today.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that lift the heart. We'll see you next time.